Alright guys, it's York Gliscors here, bringing you the Week 3 Team Builder for Teleporting Zone and the Hamiliton Torracats. I'm going to start off the video talking about last week's match, so if you don't want any spoilers, make sure you check down in the description below for the link to last week's match. So the spoilers will start in 3, 2, 1. Last week, if you do remember, this was the set that lost us the game, because I did not have enough speed EVs to outspeed the Sceptile Mega. The unfortunate thing about it, for me, was that after looking back, there was no reason for me to be salty about the match, because without the 64 HP, I did not live a Scarfed Thunder from Galvantula. So it was pretty much a give or take. Did I die to the Scarfed Thunder from Galvantula? Did I outspeed Mega Sceptile? What did I want to do? And living that Thunder did let me preserve the differential and only lose 1-0. If I would have died to the Galvantula there would have been nothing stopping Sceptile from just clicking Dragon Pulse and winning, since I did lose Zelda early on. So I'm glad that we could have a 1-0 loss instead of being swept at the end of the game. So I feel like this set wasn't the thing that cost us, and I'm kind of glad that after watching back, I realized that I didn't lose the game because of EVs or anything, and it was a well-deserved win for him. But anyways, let's get into the Week 3 matchup. His team consists of Tapu Fini, Lopunny Mega, Goodra, Shaman, Swallow, Fortress, Eelektross, Weavile, his Z-Captain Gengar, Darmanitan, and Rampardos. Tapu Fini is just an incredibly bulky mon. It has a really high special defense stat and can be incredibly defensive. This thing is just the bane of my existence, because once it starts setting up Calm Minds, I really don't have a physical attacker that can do a lot of damage to it. And I wanted to bring some sort of physical Zebstrika, excuse me, but I just felt like if it ran max defense, Zebstrika did nothing to it. Lopunny Mega, of course, has an incredible speed tier. Of course, we play another Mega that outspeeds our entire team, and Crobat is probably the only answer for it. Goodra is super bulky, has a really high special attack stat and HP, has a really good speed F stat. I think it's 150, and that thing just eats hits. Dragon hit, it eats that too. It honestly is a huge bulky dragon, and it's gonna take a lot of effort to take that thing down. Shaman, another bulky mon. This team is incredibly bulky mixed with really strong offense. The way he drafted this team was just really well, and I do want to commend him for the way he drafted the team, because Shaman can be bulky, can be attacking, has that Seed Flare that can drop your special defense stat, which is incredibly devastating, because then you do not live any hit after that, and you're forced to kind of switch out. But of course, Crobat is my answer for that. Fortress has Rapid Spin, Volt Switch to get out of places, does have Spikes, Stealth Rocks, pretty much everything you want in a Hazard Setter plus removal. Eelektross, sporting the 0 weaknesses with the ability to Levitate and a pure electric typing, so there's pretty much nothing that can hit it, meaning that I'm forced to run Zygarde to hit it super effectively, which just lets him run HP Ice on it, to be honest. Weavile, incredibly high, can hit 383 speed if it's max speed Jolly Nature, which is incredibly devastating for my team, as I only really have Crobat that outspeeds them, but it dies to an Ice Shard after Rocks. Zydoggo can't even take any sort of hit from it. Zelda dies to a knockoff. Registeel is probably my only answer to it, and it can run Focus Punch on a predicted switch out into it. It can run Low Kick or Low Sweep. Pretty much anything to take on that, and I don't see why he wouldn't. Gengar, which is a Z-mon, it really does have incredible moves. It can be Fightinium Z on that Focus Blast, can be Never Ending Nightmare, Acid Downpour. It has a lot and lots of coverage, and I see him taking full advantage for it, possibly running Z Energy Ball for Manaphy, Z Thunderbolt for Manaphy. I'm not sure if he gets an ice move, but he could run that for Zygarde. This thing, if it's scarfed, is going to do a lot of damage to my team. Darmanitan, incredibly, it can be bulky, can be attacking, has really good speed, hits 317 if it's max speed Jolly, and it just hits incredibly hard. And as the last mon, Rampardos, another mon that has an incredibly high base attack. I think it has one of the highest base attacks, and probably the highest of a non-mega. But let's get into what I'm bringing to counter this incredible team. I am bringing every darn step to Crobat, like I mentioned, and as you see on the screen, it pretty much stops Lopunny from clicking any sort of fighting move, stops Shaman from clicking any sort of grass move, can sort of take on other mons like Fortress, but it can Volt Switch out on us. I do see him bringing possibly Gudra in to take this on. He can bring Fortress in. He has a lot of mons that can revenge kill this, as long with just kill it outright, which is why I'm running kind of the same bulky set that I ran last week, but I am putting Roost on it instead of Toxic, because last week I didn't really use Toxic that well, when I can use Roost on a predicted switch out and then get a quote-unquote slow U-turn, because I can figure out what he's going into, then U-turn out on it, and then pick what I want to go into to combat them on, instead of U-turning out and then just going right away. I want to get that recovery as soon as possible. Also has the Infiltrator ability for any potential sub, like sub Shaman, because it could be sub Leech Seed, could be, I'm not sure if Lopunny runs sub, but who knows, he could run it. I'm also bringing the Zygarde this week, Choice Scarf variant. Like I said, I did say Choice Scarf Gengar could hurt me, but then obviously it couldn't run a Z move, but it just does have incredible coverage, so it could forego the Z move. So I am running with just enough speed to outspeed a Scarf Gengar and pretty much his entire team. 1000 Arrows hits Rampardos, Darmanitan, Gengar, and Eelektross incredibly hard. It does do a good bit of damage to Fortress, unless he's max defense, then it 4 hit KOs or 3 hit KOs. I do have superpower for Lopunny and Weavile. If I can predict a Weavile switching in, but I never see a Weavile being a switch in for this thing, but who knows, it's a possibility. If it's his last mon, maybe he goes for it, but I do have to be careful because the Ice Shard does Oko me. Which does lead me to the next mon, because that Ice Shard that does Oko gets eaten up by Registeel, and his only move for me is pretty much Low Kick, which then he gets hurt by Rocky Helmet and Superpower kills him. That's pretty much the idea behind this set. I do have Protect on there for any Lopunny high jump kicks. Also, Zelda, as you can see, 4 times resist high jump kick or close combat of any sort, so that's also a switch in for Lopunny Mega. I do a Stealth Rocks because that's essential to get up. It whittles down Swellow, does a good bit to Darmanitan, hurts Weavile, which does set it up for the E-Speed on Psydoggo, and it does a good bit to Finny. I don't know how I'm breaking through Finny. I honestly have everything in my ability, but once that thing starts setting up Calm Minds, it's going to be a huge problem for my team. But we got the wannabe RKS, U-Turn, Flamethrower, Surf, Thunderbolt, Expert Belt. It has Expert Belt, Thunderbolt, that's a mouthful, which does a huge amount of damage to Tapu Fini. It's about a 2-hit KO with Expert Belt. I could have ran like Specs or something, but then it does limit my use of U-Turn, and I didn't want to do that. Lopunny Mega, I don't really have a move for Lopunny Mega, so I'm going to have to switch out into Crobat, which isn't a problem. Gudra, I'm going to U-Turn out on. Shaman, I can hit with a flamethrower or U-turn, both do a good amount of damage. Swallow, I have Thunderbolt. Fortress, I have Flamethrower, which does OHKO it outright. I think even if he's max special defense, he still can't live one, which is always a good thing, this is probably going to be my leads. Considering Fortress is probably his best lead, outside of Type Affinity. And Surf does hit Darmanitan and Raparta super hard, and we do Speed Tie with Darmanitan. And if we do get the Surf off, we should be able to OHKO it, which will be a lot of pressure relieved for Registall. But this does lead us into the next mon, Finland, the Manaphy. We're running Tail Glow, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, Surf with the Gracium Z. A +3 Bloom Doom does OHKO Tap Affinity if it's not Calm Minded up. Also, Tail Glow does let us get ahead on that Calm Minds. He starts Calm Minding up, we get to +3, then +6. I haven't really got to use Tail Glow Manaphy to the best of my ability, so I'm hoping that I get away with it this week. Surf is just does a lot of damage. He has 3 water resists, and I do have a coverage move for each one of them. Energy Ball for Type Affinity, Ice Beam for Gudra, Ice Beam for Shaman, which both can't live Ice Beams at +3 unless they're Assault Vest. That's always a good note. This cannot live any move from Weavile, like a knockoff. Can live an Ice move from Weavile. Does not live an attack from possibly Scarf Shaman, or even Specs Shaman, unless I can get a Tail Glow Ice Beam off before it. Surf does a good amount to pretty much his whole team, which would probably be my main spam move, but since I am running Gracium Z, I'm not locked into any move, which is always nice because with choice on Manaphy does limit its coverage, because then I can't run, like I can't switch up a move like mid. I am not running U-turn this week, unfortunately, to gain momentum, because I wanted to try Tail Glow. Tail Glow really does help me sweep, and that's something I really consider that I missed. Yes, week 1 I was missing momentum, and then after looking last week, I really had no wall breakers, which was something that was brought up in post-draft PRs, and after realizing I really do see it. But I do have 3 free agent moves, which I can always think about using later, because some of these mons I might actually consider replacing, considering Ferrothorn was a 2nd round draft pick and I haven't used it yet. But nevertheless, we'll go on to the last mon, and that is Zelda, the Gardevoir Mega, running Hyper Voice, Thunderbolt, Wish, Calm Mind. Calm Mind is pretty much there to get better than a Gudra. Like, I can Calm Mind up on Gudra, click Hyper Voice. If it's not Assault Vest, it dies. I can Calm Mind up on Type Affinity, click Thunderbolt. As long as it's not Calm Minding up with me, I can OHKO it. Wish is there because I don't really have a Cleric on my team, so this Wish is gonna pass it to other people. I can pass it to Zydoggo for potential sweeps. I can pass it to Crobat if he needs it. I can pass it to the Registall to take more hits from Weavile. I can pass it to Finland so it can take more hits, and I can potentially pass it to the Savali if it's still alive at this point in the game. But I really am confident with the team I'm bringing. I'm really looking forward to this match because this is pretty much do or die for me right now. As much as I don't want to think about it only being week 3 and there's 12 weeks of this league, but I can't start off the week going 0-3 and then looking at my next match and going, oh wow, I played Tup and he's right now currently 2-0 and doing incredibly well. And that team is just going to be really scary when it steps up in front of me and I just look at it and go, I really have nothing for it. So I'm hoping that I can get at least a 4-0. I don't want to make that sound like it's a huge jump to get, but that pretty much puts me back at a 0 differential and I'm 1-2. About mid ground, not in playoffs I don't think, but almost at the cuff of playoffs. I'm just really hoping to get out of this rut that I've been in. I haven't really been doing well, as you guys have seen, and I appreciate everybody who's staying with me right now. I do promise you guys that I will try. I really will try to pull out this W, because I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of losing. But make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get any notifications for my channel. That is all for me. I am the Mighty Gliscor, the coach of the New York Gliscors, and I'll catch you guys later.